Mario Kart World, the newest entry in the Mario Kart series. With 30 tracks in total, let's see how they stack up. Desert Hills. Out of the 3 DS tracks that made it into this game, this one is not it. I mean, look at how they butchered it. Is this the Hills part now? I don't remember that being the Hills part. I know, I grew up on this game. Last I checked, this was supposed to be the Hills part. What happened, Nintendo? What happened? Okay, everyone and their grandma saw this coming. Hoopa Troopa Beach. Look at it. It's literally just a glorified circle. I think I'd actually be blamed more if I was to say something good about this track. Anyways, this track has one of the top 5 bangers in the game. Changed my mind. Stardew Peak is a track that makes me need to mention a balance between appearance and playability when it comes to designing a track. You see, Stardew Peak goes entirely for the former, having whatever this layout is, and minimalistic options to save time. Hell, if it wasn't for this 200cc part right here, I'd probably be asleep within seconds for this track. It's like they took Ice Ice Outpost, a track which I love, and Rosalina's Ice World, a track which I also like quite a lot, and merged them into one not so fun to play mess. Do you ever just look at a track and think to yourself, yeah, that one's in the game too? Well, for me, that's Dandelion Depths. It's often kind of a drag to play on, and I, quite a lot of times, forget it even exists, to be honest. When I see it in an online playroom, or just really when I'm in a Grand Prix, and it gets selected, I'm like, oh, kind of forgot about that one. This and the next track are just kind of meh, to be honest. They have a really unique theming, which I'll give them props for, but that's kind of about it. Similarly to Dandelion Depths, Cheep Cheep Falls is a track that values aesthetics over gameplay, I feel. It's not entirely boring, but it isn't entirely memorable per se either. It's got quite a few cool mechanics, I'll give it that, and in some parts it feels like Wii Koopa Cape. That doesn't excuse the fact that it's kinda forgettable in my opinion though. And as I said in Dandelion Depths' section, I really just kind of don't realize this exists half the time, only remembering it in online races when it's actually picked. Peach Beach, my favorite untouched track from Double Dash. You know, it's really nice seeing a track come back in its original form, not edited by the developers whatsoever. We love a good retro track. Oh, Tor arrows. That seems weird. Why are there Tor arrows there? Let's just move on and oh, we're going up there, okay. In case you couldn't tell by that intro, I kind of find it jarring that Peach Beach was edited so heavily like this. I mean, what is even this? Can you even call this Peach Beach anymore? Like, I would call this track just under a completely new name at this point, under Peach Resort or something, I don't know. The only way you can actually tell that it's Peach Beach is because of the first section, which, mind you, we don't even play on for like, what, 2/3 of the track. Not to mention every single intermission on this track. Oh boy, the intermissions. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every single intermission that goes to this track just completely skips out on the first section. It only does the second and third sections. You'd think it'd just do the first, as that's usually how intermissions work, but nope. Let's just completely remove the Peach Beach part of Peach Beach and have them play on the other track instead. Why not? Thanks, Nintendo. Hey guys, for a prank, knock out the Double Dash tracks all in one sitting. No, but for real though, these are the tracks that I'm actually liking from here on out. Dino Dino Jungle is by no means a bad track, but this track at heart is just, hey, what if Figure 8 Circuit had shortcuts? Now I know. You want to flame me with your pitchforks or whatever. But if you just think of it, and if you look at that map layout, you can kind of see what I'm getting at. As much as a track can suffer from having too little to do, it can suffer from having too much to do. While Shaggy Bazaar is a really good track at its core, what do you even call, like, some of the things that people do on this track? Seriously, Shaggy Bazaar has gotten itself the name, the track where the road is completely optional. All things considered though, this is a really good track, and as someone who played Mario Kart 7 as a little kid, this was a very good one that I was happy to see come back. As much as I would have preferred the Woohoo tracks, Nintendo, please add them in the DLC. Moo Moo Meadows is probably the emperor of split opinions in Mario Kart World tracks. You see, it was in the base Mario Kart 8, and obviously it was in Mario Kart Wii. Now this track remains relatively untouched from its 8 and Wii counterpart, besides the removal of everyone's favourite ramp, like the ramp, which I shall point out now. You can probably tell that I'm also on that bandwagon due to Moo Moo Meadows being so low on the list, but also, I just kind of not too keen on this track. Now, I know I said in Dino Dino Jungle section that from here on out it will be the tracks I like, but something about this track just feels bland. Yes, I know, there's a bunch of things you can do. I mean, I've seen the world records. But it's just... you'll never get to really do that in a race. Plus, it just feels a little... how do I describe it? Strangely paced? I don't know. It's Koopa Troopa Beach again. Glorified circle. Except this time, there's at least something to do. Mario Bros. Circuit, being the first track of the game, doesn't have high shoes to fill by any means. It's meant to teach players how the game works, which I think it does a really good job at with its really wide roads and spread out mechanics. Also, this is a very unique theme for a starter track. We've never seen a Western themed opening to a Mario Kart game before, so kudos to that. However, just because it's the first track doesn't mean it gets a pass from everything. It can sometimes feel boring, especially on that big turn where you find yourself drifting for quite a while. DK Spaceport is a Mario Kart's version of 25M from the original Donkey Kong. This is a really unique track design, albeit it's 6 straight lines, one after each other. But like, it is really cool for what it's meant to go for. And don't even get me started on the dynamic music. If you don't know what that means, it's that the music changes depending on the section you're in, which happens in this track and another track later in the ranking. The difference is, though, with this track, there's like 6 sections, so you get 6 different pieces of music for the price of 1. It is phenomenal how this track is, honestly. Yet it's so low on the list? Well, it gets a point deduction for, at its core, just being 6 glorified straight lines. However, the devs cooked on this game, let me just tell you that. Speaking of cooking, though, back to the soundtrack for this track. It is something else. Just take a listen. Spooky, scary boost cinema. I gotta say, I don't know who they let cook in the studio with this one, but it is fire. I mean, just listen to this swing rhythm. That being said, this track does suffer from a lack of shortcuts. Its only real shortcut is that mushroom cut into wall ride at the beginning, and even then, you could just get away with doing a shroom cut, which is kinda basic. However, I'm being harsher on this track than you think, as booze and the film aesthetic haven't actually been paired together before, but it makes for a really nice theming. Oh, and don't even get me started on the lighting in this section. I just don't even know how they managed to incorporate this into the world map. Like, even to this day, is it some culling or something? I have no idea. Also, I am in love with how it takes an aspect from TikTok clock and decides to make the film reels spin in opposite directions on lap 2. Wario Stadium, the last edition from Mario Kart 64 to be remade into a later game, and a welcome one at that. Everyone's thoughts initially on this track were how long it was in the original game, but Nintendo did a really good job at shortening this track whilst keeping all the core aspects. Also, I am loving this new theming. Like, the idea of making this a scrap metal junkyard is just stunning. It's so in character for Wario to do something like this and make it a stunt park that I am honestly surprised how people come up with this. Oh, and also, I'm quite thankful that they removed that PNG of Wario's face scattered throughout the entire track. After Super Bell Subway in Mario Kart 8's DLC, it was quite refreshing in Mario Kart World to see a train-themed track built off of a steam train. Not to mention that this track is just aesthetically really cool. The mountain itself is actually the horn? The chimney? Whatever you call it, of a steam train. It's like a really good breath of fresh air compared to the rest of the tracks in this game, and somehow doesn't even feel out of place. Also, this track's shortcuts with the rail grinding and all that are really fun to do in a race. And plus, they're not that risky to do, to be honest. That is just amazing track design. Thanks, Nintendo! The culmination of all three Mario circuits from Super Mario Kart. What do you mean I'm forgetting one? Nonsense! A fourth Mario circuit doesn't exist. In all seriousness though, it was a really good design perspective, and quite an interesting one, to put the three Mario circuits in one Super Mario circuit together. Super Mario Circuit? Super Mario Kart? It all makes sense now. Choco Mountain is quite the fun track to play on, and a really welcome addition from Mario Kart 64. I can't lie, when I saw this in the booster course pass, I was like, ugh, this? I don't even like this. They butchered it from DS. But now that I'm seeing it in this game, this looks awesome. Like, they went with a mud park construction, charge and chuck area, whatever, and just kind of rolled with it. I'm like genuinely impressed at the creative liberties this team takes with half of their tracks. And don't even get me started on this little alternate path at the start, where you take a charge jump and you just kind of do this. I see like no one ever go for this. Seriously underrated, gang. Come on. And speaking of underrated, this music track. God, did they have to make it hard rock? I'm not complaining whatsoever, but damn! This is just something else, I tell you. This game never fails to impress. DK Pass is easily a top 3 track from DS, back when I played that game. However, in this game, there are so many solid tracks that it does unfortunately only get 14th. I know, shocking. This just goes to show really how much the devs cook in this game. people give it less credit than it deserves. Honestly, I personally think this is a really fun track. There's like almost always something for you to do, as you could see just then. You know, bounce off trees, why not? But like, with these other tracks, it's just stellar where you go. Up the wall, on the rail, I don't know, over the edge of the track. Your choice. Salty Salty Speedway. What about, and we're on the wall. Amazing. I didn't even get to finish my first sentence. Are we for real? If you couldn't tell, this track is plonkers. It's just, I don't even know what to say. You're constantly like on a wall, trekking off something, trekking off nothing, boosting. It's just, unironically, with this track, I think you're spending more time boosting than not, which is just hilarious. I'm just at a lot of speech, to be honest. I mean, what do you even call this? Yeah, no, just, what, the 90 degrees, sure, why not? Okay then. Next track, please. Hey gang, these dry bones just like me for real. Haha, unfunny joke. Anyone? No one? Aww, okay. Dry Bones Burnout, our Dia de los Muertos themed track. Very, very surprising take, but we welcome it nonetheless. I personally am a sucker for this fiesta in particular. In all seriousness though, Dry Bones Burnout is a track that teaches the player something. Maybe accidentally, but it teaches them this nonetheless. And it's that, hey, did you know you can drive on lava if you're boosting? I didn't know that before playing this track, and I am really glad that I found that out because it helps a lot. Especially in an ending shortcut in, like, say, Bowser's Castle or something. I just adore tracks that teach the player something that aren't the beginner track of the game. Crown City, a pseudo section track? Well, it's one of those tracks that acts like Calamari Desert did in 8 Deluxe's DLC, where it changes each lap, like Peach Beach. However, unlike Peach Beach, this track does something correct. It's a nitro track. That's what it does correct. I know I sound like I'm just flaming Peach Beach pointlessly. And I am, but like, this track, unlike Peach Beach, has solid sections for all 3 of them. Honestly, I just can't get enough of Crown City, no matter how hard I try. And also has the aesthetic. It's really cool being able to explore the entirety of a city in a Mario Kart track. You would think this is something straight out of a 3D Mario game if it wasn't for all the boost panels and the car. Seriously, this looks incredible. And don't even get me started on how this part of the music always syncs up to this section. It's weird. But I love it, because it actually feels like you're on top of the roof stops. This track just has it all. But why is it in 11th then? Because some other tracks have more than it all. Take it away, Final 10. Great question mark ruins. Speedrunner's favourite little plaything. Seriously, this track was busted from day one. What are we doing again? I'm at a loss for words when it comes to this track. The aesthetic is something we've never seen before in Mario Kart. And honestly, I'm all here for it. Don't even get me started on the shortcuts though. What is even this? What do you call that? I know I said that for Salty Speedway, but like... What? Great question mark runs. It's something else. It's just... Hey, what if we made the whole track a shortcut? I'm lost for words. That's all I can really express. Lost for words. Moving on. Number 9. When I ask you, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the word grandiose, what would you say? Well, if you said Peach Stadium, you're damn right. You know, there's no feeling quite as good as being in first place for that final gate of the Heart Rally. The blue shells just came, you have a mushroom, you take that shortcut, and it's just a free win. This track, it's beautiful. I mean, you're parkouring on a car on top of Peach's castle. What more is there to ask for? Oh, but don't even get me started on the music. Beautiful track. Acorn Heights is like the maple tree way of this game. It's a nature-themed track with a big tree that it revolves around. So, obviously, it's gonna be a fan favorite. And as a fan, I can say it's one of my favorites. That's why you've watched until the top 10. Anyway, this track has just been bulldozed with shortcuts, hidden paths, and whatever you want, really. I mean, wall ride on anything, rail ride anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. We even have the mushrooms from Mushroom Gorge. This track is the definitive valley track. Okay, I'll say what we're all thinking. Wow, what is this track? This Bowser's Castle is just so unique in its ways that, like, it just kicks ass, let's be real. This has to be my favorite Bowser's Castle in the entire series, and it isn't even close. I mean, just the amount of things you can do on this track. Honestly, what? See? I don't even. No, this game, it's broken. GG's. And we're in month 2 of the game as well. I can't wait to see what this game has in store.
And it's this track. This track is the main reason why we're here. Not to mention this song. It could just get me pumped thinking about it. What the hell? God, pirate themed track. It's just... okay, it was not my favourite in 7, I'll admit. I kind of didn't like it. But goodness, Mario Kart World version, it's just... that. What do you even call this? It's one of those tracks where I have to say that. Because Mario Kart World, it's... I feel like I'm complimenting the game now, not even the track. This track was like so done. Glow up. Had such a glow up by this game. You can trick on anything now in this game, so it's just kind of like go the hell wherever you want. And it's Wario Shipyard, so there's a lot of places to go. Thank you so much, Nintendo. Speaking of glow up, Sky High Sunday. Never have I ever seen any glow up like it. Remember when we all used to hate on this track in 8 Deluxe? I didn't. I'll confess to it now. This was one of my favorites, and it still remains one of my favorites. Sky High Sunday Justice. This track was done quite well in 8. I mean, decently. But wow. It was done impressively in World. Seriously, the wall riding and rail grinding mechanics introduced to this game, they really spruce out this track. So much so that people even think that this track was made for World. Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
Let me ask you this. What do you get if you merge banger music and great track design together? You get Faraway Oasis. Now, this song just feels like you're on a safari. And this track, with the rushing water, it's amazingly paced. I can't believe that the devs actually did something like this. And let me tell you something. When the game was first revealed, I wasn't even excited for this track. In fact, I really did not want to play it. And then I got good at this track, and goodness, this is a beast. I love Faraway Oasis so much.
And the OST, like especially this part. It's just magnificent. And that is why Faraway Oasis deserves 4th. The devs did not need to go this hard on this track, bro. But they did anyways, and I'm here for it.
Toad's Factory is an example of a retro track done right. It still keeps all of its core aspects, whilst improving on what it didn't have in the original. Mario Kart World uses its wall rides and rail grinds to its advantage here, and allows for a really fun experience with new paths that weren't previously possible. Also, like Skip in Wii, is now possible via two beams that appear in Toad's Factory's ending section. Also, this classic tune being remade is just incredible. I love it. I mean, it's so good that even the intermission goes hard. That's how you know you made a good song.
Oh, everyone always glazes Airship Fortress. Damn right they do, and they have a reason for it too. This track is stupendous. This is like my favourite track probably from DS, besides its Rainbow Road, and oh my goodness, when I saw this come back in World, I jumped out of my seat in the trailer. Unironically, this is one of my favourite tracks in the entire Mario Kart series, and for good reason too. This is such a unique layout, and do I even need to talk about the music? I mean, just listen to it. It's no secret that I love Airship Fortress. I can't stop gushing about it, okay? It's a really good retro track, and honestly, my favourite in this game. Hell, maybe even ever, to be honest. As I said, Airship Fortress. It's a banger. And I'm so glad we can explore this track now. I've always wanted to, as a kid, go beyond the limits of this track, see what really lies in the entire airship and the entire fortress. And now that I can, I love it. And to no surprise, the standout WoW track of the game, Rainbow Road, takes the #1 spot. Give it up, folks, give it up. But in all seriousness though, this track is one of those tracks that makes me want to go back and relive the day that I first played this. This was an adventure. Not even just a track, an adventure. Now, this track is not only a section track, but also has dynamic music. So, as we know from DK Spaceport, that means the music changes depending on the section we're in. And that is just... wow. I mean, listen to how calming it is. Sometimes this track is so magical, it doesn't even feel real. I mean, it's, as I said with Starview Peak, it's like Ice Ice Outpost, but it's better. This is what Starview Peak could have been. Well, I mean, it's not, it's Rainbow Road, but you get me. The space station section is something else, really. You know, after Mario Kart 8, I didn't quite expect them to pull a space station again, but they did it, and it worked. And I'm so happy that it did, because, oh my goodness, this place is a blast to go through. Seriously, and the music as well, it's everything I want packed into one track, and I'm all here for it. This track and its use of culling, it's just... I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's a magical experience. I can't believe they were able to put something like this in the Mario Kart World game that's open world. Albeit they had to sacrifice this track being open world, sure, but it more than makes up for it because, look at it, it's just so grand. I love it. And this part in particular, where you're just travelling down the last stretch with all these twists and turns, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, to be honest. I find myself often listening to Juno's cover of this song, and this section always gets me jamming. Speaking of this section, take a listen to this part of the track,